Good evening, it's Radio FreakJam, it's Monday, just to remind you all who are still locked in your houses and don't know what day it is. So this is the Unsigned session, and I've dragged someone up from the very distant jam night past. Carl Dawkins. No, that way.
Nice to see
There's over
you.
there. I never get that right. It always confuses me.
I just see that one, make it clear.
That way. That is over there, somewhere. So, Carl, you are in Armada of Secrets, and very early on during lockdown, I put out some messages asking for music for this to play to people and keep people entertained. And you sent me a few tracks, and then what? 21 weeks on. 21 weeks. Can you believe that?
Is that how long it's been? 21
Yes,
weeks.
I've been measuring it by jam nights, and we had episode 20 on Thursday, and we had episode 0. So that is 21 weeks.
Wow.
So this is the 22nd week, believe it or not, of lockdown. That's how long we've been doing this.
How long will it continue?
That's the question we're all looking to have answered. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, the new normal just seems to be live streams now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's been a lot of...
Like, we had live stream...
Go on. Have I lost him already? I think we've lost him already. This is not boding well, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday. It's hot. The computers are melting all over the country. And I think Carl's has just melted. He's disconnected. We're going to try and get him back and see what happens. There he is. He's back.
Oh, wait. I'm back. 1 second. Just going to change this internet. Is it on?
I'll tell you what. Let's play a song. While you're playing with buttons and bits and pieces like that, let's have a song. I'm going to play one of your original ones, one we've played on the show. This is Pour It Up, and it has a video now as well too. So this is Pour It Up by Armada of Secrets.
Strip clubs and roller blades.
And then we have it. Pour It Up by Armada Secrets, and Carl's dropping in and dropping out. And
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm
For
back.
good? Are you back for
I'm
good?
back for good. Once you're back, once you're back, once you're back.
That's got to be the first. Was it Take That? It was Take That, wasn't it?
It was Take That.
It's got to be the first
It was
Take
Take
That
That,
we've
right?
had on Radio Freak Jam. I don't know if that's a good thing, Carl.
Well, that was a Rihanna cover, which I thought was quite funny. And we toured with a metal band last year called Bloodywood from India, and we were on main support. And of course, our genre is post-punk, power pop, alternative dance rock. It's basically rock and soul, but let's get really PC about it and make sure we get all the genres in. Do you know what I mean?
You've got to be PC these days.
And we did a Justin Timberlake cover with Beyonce with a mashup, which we've got coming out in a few weeks as well. And that went down like a storm. We had Rihanna, Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, and the Ting Tings that we were playing to these metal crowds. And I tell you what, mate, the two opening bands every night was deathcore, screamo. We'd come on, hi, Armada Secrets, and then they would love Justin Timberlake. We were like, yeah, here we go, because we love doing the mixture of the covers. All the covers that we do, we try and not do it as the record. You know, I'd rather let someone. You know, we never announce the covers, just play it and see if someone recognizes if it is the track or not. Do you know what I mean?
So, I mean, very interesting from the first point is that you're a three-piece. You haven't got a guitarist. It's literally drums, bass, and vocals.
Yeah. And then we have a little synth. I've got one of my little synths behind me there. We do a little bit of synth work as well. We've got a lovely Alpha Sphere, which is like a trigger for synths, and the singer, Caroline, she'll play some funky stuff on there while we're playing. But we try to keep it really organic. I mean, I've got loads of different pedals and sounds that I love to use. And we're all about dynamics, and it sounds really weird because there's only one bass and drums, but we're actually a very dynamic band. And when you come see us live, the amount of people that don't realise there's only me on stage as the only melodic instrument is just amazing. Do you know what I mean? The sounds we seem to get from the basses with the combination of the drums and the vocals, it just sounds massive. As you just heard there.
We talked a bit earlier, just sort of doing a checkup, and I sort of mentioned Royal Blood. And they obviously famously use an octaver on the bass, so they've got the bass sound and they've got that sort of guitar sound above it. Is that something you do, or?
No, I've never really been into that. I mean, I like the Raw Blood stuff a bit. We actually went on hiatus about a year before they came out, and we were one of the only bands at the time doing the bass and drum thing. That was back in the MySpace days. We did tours with what they called Neon Jungle. Had a couple of good hits back then. Got quite a nice little cult fan base. And then we took a year off, and then I remember just turning on Glastonbury, and they were like, "Oh, we've never seen this before. It's just bass and drums." And I literally just went. So then we came back 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, and our first show back was main support to the Lightning Seeds, which was amazing to play with them. Because I only thought they had one song, 3 lines on a shirt, and then on the way there, one of our texts was like, "Have you heard any adverts at all?" And I was like, "What?" And he started playing songs, and I was like, "Oh, that's the Marks and Spencer advert. Oh, that's the Volvo advert. Oh, that's this advert."
Loads. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was amazing. And then we came back and did that. But no, it's quite an interesting sound that we have. Sometimes we hit the mark, sometimes we don't. We were very experimental with what we do, especially with the covers. And we love the haters as well with some of the comments. You know, we love the love, but obviously we're not afraid to just literally be like, look what we do. Do you know what I mean?
You know, with covers, as a personal preference, I want to see a covers band doing their version of the song. I don't want to hear a carbon copy of the original, because I might as well just stick the record on.
Exactly.
So I want to hear a live band doing a live take on that track. And, you know, even the original artists do a lot of original songs slightly different when they do it live.
Yeah, and that's what I do. We were having a chat about this the other day. Yeah, honestly, we go to see somebody, and you know, they might do something different in the set, and I love that. And that's what I'm missing about the live music, because obviously, like you say, you might as well put on a CD. Yeah. I mean, there's a few artists that are getting away with it at the moment. I mean, Snoop Dogg for one. I like some of his stuff, but you know, you go to see him play, and the amount of times he'll just take his hand away from the mic and just dance, and his vocals are still coming through. It's all just, he just plays the track and plays over the top, and I'm like, it's entertainment. I dig it, but at the same time, I might as well just stay at home instead of paying £80 for it.
But he's stoned, so it don't matter. He don't care. He's raking
All I
in
have in my head
videos
is
for
him
getting
just doing
stoned
this.
off his tits, and it's just I don't get it personally, but it's all good. So let's talk about original music. Black Dulwich, that's an original song of yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is a track I've
Yeah,
also
that's
played on the
fantastic.
radio. Let's have a listen to that,
Yeah, we actually,
and then come back,
yeah,
because we need to
this is my
talk about.
granddad.
Sorry,
It's my granddad in the video.
it's your granddad in the video. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll play the video, and we'll come back and we'll talk about this a little bit.
My
Your
granddad.
granddad and his vinyl, fantastic. Here we go. This is Black Dulwich. That was Black Dulwich there by the Armada Secrets. Having a few internet issues here, guys. The stream seems to be a little bit weird tonight. I don't know why. It's Monday. Most people are off the internet on a Monday. This is why I do this. But we'll persist. It's all good. If we have to restart, we'll just take a 5-minute break and we'll come back and we'll try it all again. But, you know, it's all good. Don't panic. I'm not.
And they can also they can go onto YouTube and they can check it out, clock up the hits.
They can, yeah, after the show. If they
Go
can't,
check it out on
can't see the
YouTube
show,
as
they
well.
can always
Yeah,
check
yeah.
it out on YouTube afterwards. So that's your granddad.
Yeah, so I mean, we actually did. If you go online, there's a series of 4 videos. That was from our first album, Kiss and Tell. We actually just re-recorded that track last week for a re-release in September, 10 years on, which is going to be interesting. And we actually, all the tracks run into each other like a little bit of a weird story. And my granddad was in 2 of my videos, and so it only made sense. When you see the Bleeding Me Dry video, that will sort of make sense as to why he's by himself, because he's with people before that. And that little thing going around is actually a speaker. So you just put the little antenna up, and it actually plays the vinyl just by going around it, which is a really, really cool device called a... Yeah, yeah. But my granddad is so funny because he's always like, hey, he's Irish as well. Carl, so what's this YouTube? What's YouTube? I was like, oh, granddad, you know, your YouTube famous. So I know he's clocked in. So hi, granddad.
So
I know he's in.
Is that
he's
Charlie
very
Freeman?
tech savvy now.
Is it Charlie Freeman?
No, that's my dad.
That's your dad.
Charlie Freeman is the artist that I play for. That is literally my granddad.
Right, gotcha. So who's Charlie Freeman?
But Charlie Freeman is an artist that I started playing for last December. So obviously my full-time job as a session player. I play all over the world for different bands. I've played for bands from India, Nepal, Europe, Norway, all over. Been very lucky, and well, it's a lot of hard work, but very lucky to be able to create these opportunities. And I got a phone call last year from a drummer who I work with to say, hey, do you want to come do 6 weeks in China? I was like, yeah, I want to do 6 weeks in China. I've toured there before. Always an awesome experience because it's such a big place. And he goes, right. And he goes, you ready to start next week with 30 days of rehearsals in a row? I was like, yes. So 2nd of January, we roll into the studio. Everyone's obviously hanging from the New Year's. And we started 30 days of rehearsals. And it was a slog. I mean, at the time, I actually played some American football at the end of December. And it turns out I smashed my rib. And I hadn't actually realised, but of course, 30 days of rehearsals holding my bases like this. I was like, I wonder why I got a pain there. Do you know what I mean? So that was I actually didn't realise till lockdown actually what had happened, because it took a good few months to actually heal. But we ended up doing 30 rehearsals in a row, and then 2 days before we're supposed to leave, the embassy calls us, which has never actually happened before. We've never had the embassy actually get involved, and they were like, right, you are not flying, your visas are all valid, but you are not leaving the country. And we were like, oh, okay, obviously because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And Charlie had just toured South America with a different band, with a different backing band just before that. So he sort of just beat the outbreak there. And I mean, we thought we'd escaped the coronavirus a little bit. So we have a 6-week tour cancelled. We've got nothing to do for 6 weeks. Luckily, Charlie had some stuff we could do. We had some songs to write. We wrote a new record with him. But we thought we'd get away from the coronavirus, and all of a sudden it comes here, which was it's just so mind-blowing. Because we were sitting there literally being like, okay, we've avoided going to China. And we did think at one point, now we'll be able to go. It's not as bad as people are saying. They cancelled all the shows first around Wuhan, because we had 3 shows around Wuhan where it broke out. And we were just going to divert the tour and go around. And then when they were like, yeah, you can't go, we were like, okay, so what do we do for the next 6 weeks? Because everybody had it was such a big tour, because Charlie's been on Chinese Netflix. He's also an actor and an artist. Okay. So he's got quite a big presence in South America and China.
He's actually in the chat room. Yeah. I'm just warning you, just before you say anything.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Hey, Charlie. Brother. Yeah, man, it's been the most amazing experience. So basically what happened was, when lockdown happened in March, I was really scared about going, being around my parents, basically. My dad was one of the vulnerable people. He's still actually furloughed at the moment. He's still off work. And I just wasn't sure what I was going to do. And Charlie very kindly was like, mate, come live with me. So I started renting a room of Charlie here. And bearing in mind, even though we had 30 days of rehearsals, we didn't really know each other too well. We knew each other, we didn't really know each other. And the last 4 months have been the most amazing experience. It literally has been like tour. Me and him have literally acted as though we're on tour at the moment. And it's just that constant sort of bonding and just like constant banter. I mean, the house is constantly filled with music. And then we both had this idea one day.
DJing and playing out of your window to Tesco's queues.
Yeah, so Charlie goes, maybe we've got a PA in the house. I was like, yeah, we've got a big PA in the house. And he goes, get that out the window. I was like, yeah? So I come out the window and he goes, right, let's start playing some songs. And I was like, no way. I was like, wicked, okay, cool. And basically we started doing this half-hour set to the Tesco queue because of social distancing. We are opposite a Tesco store. So obviously, like, it's the biggest crowd we've had all year, mate. 20 people lined up to go to Tesco, you know what I mean? But then we started doing it every day. Be there. Exactly. Thank goodness we're good. Thank goodness. Yeah. But we started doing it, and then what we found was we started doing it every day, and then we had like 1 or 2 complaints just because it was the noise level. But then what we actually found out was those 1 or 2 complaints were surpassed by loads of people telling those guys to off, which I thought was awesome. So then people started doing their shopping at a certain time to come and see us, and then were having a go at us when we weren't playing, which was absolutely like hilarious. And then as the lockdown went, we started doing it twice a week. We did it every day, twice a week, and now we do it every Saturday. And the reason why as well is because we actually now have a police escort. The police now come down on a Saturday to make sure everything's all cool, because we have a massive crowd. If you ever in Portobello Road, anybody watching, 4 o'clock on a Saturday, come and watch Charlie Freeman play some of his songs out the window. It's an absolute hoot. Do you know what I mean? We have such fun doing it, and they're really good sing-along songs as well. So I mean, yeah, honestly, it was the most amazing experience. I've been very lucky during lockdown, if I'm honest. We've been creating a lot of opportunities. I mean, even now we're planning a tour with Charlie for China next year. That is actually, by the way, China is literally like, okay, it's there, but we'll see what happens. South America next year as well. Still, obviously, waiting for the COVID to die down. But just a quick note as well, actually, if you go to bandstream.tv, we did a live show for Charlie Freeman on Saturday, and you can check out the live show that we did. And on August 28th, Armada of Secrets have a live show, also on bandstream.tv. And basically, it's a new technology where you can't share the link. So when you pay for the ticket, it's like you get an exclusive viewing of the show. I think you can rewind it. I'm not sure, but you can't share the link, and it's a very just the new normal. Basically, it was really weird because that show, for example, is going to be up for the next 100 days until we play our next live show outside in October. Fingers crossed. But it actually gives people a chance to go and see us. Oh, you know how hot it's been. Yeah. We did the show on Saturday, 36-degree heat, in a room with no blooming aircon. We had 2 fans. They were our biggest fans in the room.
Well, I bet they were. I bet your favourite fans as well. Jesus.
Oh, mate. I'm just sweating here as it is.
Mate, I'm sitting here the same. It's like sitting in a sauna. Which, I need to lose a bit of weight, so that's good.
Yeah, mate, that lockdown weight. Mate, get it off.
My dad was sitting at a barbecue on the weekend and saying that he's lost weight during lockdown. So I told him he's done it wrong.
If you've lost weight and not developed an alcohol problem, you're doing lockdown wrong.
Exactly. Cheers. And if until the cheers, indeed. I'm on the cider tonight. It's nice and refreshing in this hot heat.
Well, so they ran out of beer in Tesco, so we're on San Miguel tonight.
Does that count?
Can we get an endorsement? Can we get an endorsement?
We could try. I mean, always looking for endorsements for the show. If they want to send me a crate of free beer, I'll drink it on air for them.
Why not? Do you know what I mean? That's food for thought for next time.
Just saying, if San Miguel are listening, which I doubt they are, but
well, you never know. You never know. The world. I mean, after what I've seen in lockdown and after what's happened, nothing is starting to surprise me at the moment.
One of the little things that happened for us during lockdown is that we done a Radio FreakJam version of Splendid Isolation by the Little Angels, and I contacted Toby Jepson and asked him to introduce the track for me. So he sent me a video introducing the song. So we put the video together and he's at the start. So yeah, that was there are people out there doing stuff during lockdown which they might not normally do, which I think is quite like playing out windows to Tesco's queues.
Playing out windows to Tesco's queues, exactly.
So let's get back to what I was going to ask you before you dropped off on us before. You were coming down the FreakJam back in the Fox and Pheasant days.
Yeah. Yeah,
long time
that's
ago,
literally,
man.
I mean, it was, because the last time I saw you was actually Valentine's Day last year. Yeah. Wow, no, not this year, it was Valentine's Day last year I saw you.
I thought it was going to be last year. Yeah, that was down at Mr. Bumble's.
I'm sorry I didn't bring you a card. Or
That's
chocolates. Right. I will be getting something next year, is that alright?
Roses.
But it was so good to see you because there's so many good jam nights that you have guys that around there. The one that you do down there is absolutely fantastic. Big stage, good people, good equipment. And like when I was younger, I was so terrified of jam nights because obviously, you know, you got that little pie chart being a musician, and it's like that much talent and then this much insecurity, especially when
Yep.
you're younger. Do you know what I mean?
That's how it
And that was
works.
before I went. Yeah, that's before I did a degree in music as well. So I ended up doing a degree after that in music.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I got a degree in music. Luckily, I do
Nice.
this for a living because otherwise I'd be. Wouldn't
At least you're using it.
yeah, creative degrees.
Yeah. I mean, in all
But no,
fairness,
it was,
you know, a lot of people get degrees and then go into work in a warehouse because they can't get the
yeah.
job they trained for. You know, so you're
I think
doing
people just go
well.
to university to get laid. They just go to university to get laid now, mate. Get laid and drink, which is basically what lockdown is, minus the getting laid, right? Because obviously, if you are getting laid with loads of different people, you have been doing it wrong because that's technically illegal. Or at least it was.
It was, wasn't it? At one point in time, it was technically
Yeah,
illegal to sleep with
yeah.
someone
At
that
one
didn't
point,
live in your house.
I couldn't sleep with my girlfriend, and I was like, "Well, this is pretty weird." Well, I could sleep with her if I had a 2 meter knob, which would be, you know, I mean, that would cause a lot more problems than I think would be good, right? I mean, every little helps, but that's quite a lot.
I would say ask your girlfriend on that one. I'm not really qualified to answer that question. I'm just saying. Let's have some
I was
music.
on a
I think
postcard, guy.
talking jam nights. Let's have a jam night classic. You sent me a version of Superstition, which has been a bit of a jam night staple over the years. So this is your take on that. Again, I've got internet jumping in and out here. It's been a pain in my bum, but we'll carry on. In fact, no, stay there a second. I'm going to drop the broadcast and we're going to start. Right. So I've restarted the broadcast and hope that will work nicely.
Wow.
And it's all cleared up a bit. So
Hello,
here we
new
go.
broadcast.
Superstition. Oh man, what a version!
Thank you very much.
That kills it.
That's
your
loop pedal.
bass line is just grooving.
Thank you very much. That's looped as well. So when we do that live, it's all looped. There's no backing track. It's all just loop pedal, which is really fun to do. Do you know what I mean? Especially with all the reharms underneath and that, especially with the scat line in the middle. We're really happy with that. It's that whole. We just try and bring all those sort of stuff with us when we do the new, like you said, with the new covers. Just not trying to make it that. Try and be some sort of dynamics or some sort of freshness to it. And that's also the last video in the series of videos starring my granddad. So yeah, go check him out on YouTube if you get a chance.
Oh, bless him. I think that's awesome that you're getting your granddad involved as well. Now let's talk about Caroline, man.
Yeah.
Because her voice is pretty damn good, let's be honest.
Yeah. It's I mean, basically, I said it before. We have this long genre that we are, but essentially it's rock and soul. Do you know what I mean? And that's why it can be a bit Marmite for people, because it is a weird sound where it was fusing these elements together. But her voice is absolutely incredible, especially when she is really comfortable on stage. Basically on stage we actually write a song every time we play. So we actually have a allotted set time, a lot of time in our set, where it's pure jam. There is absolutely no, and I'm talking, there is absolutely no conception of what's going to happen. Either I'll just start playing something, or I'll tell the drummer, because we hire in drummers. We're technically a duo, that we hire certain drummers. I get the drummer to start something, or I might just ask Caroline to start scatting or something like that. And a lot of the tracks that you hear that we actually release are usually actually written starting off live on stage with just random ideas. Which we love, because 9 times out of 10 when we're doing that on stage, people think it's a new song. People don't even realize we're actually jamming. And of course, after we record every single set that we do, and afterwards I'll be in the hotel room having a look at the thing going, oh wow, that riff actually worked. And I have no idea what I'm playing. He has no idea what he's playing. And because we're in that vibe of playing our songs, we feel that's the best way that we can write to get the most authentic sound for what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really special. That's why I'm about playing live. Like, we had our first. Oh, hey, baby.
She's in the chat, and she says,
Girlfriend,
love the Armada style of covers.
Big fan as well. Awesome. Yeah, she also does our merch for us as well. She's a fantastic merch girl. If anyone needs a merch girl when this scene comes back in, hit up Samantha Cantwell. She knows what she knows what she's doing with that.
Awesome. There we go. If anyone needs merch, see Samantha. She's a good girl, apparently.
Or if you want to go buy our merch, that's totally fine as well.
Well,
it's lockdown. And also, FreakJam's got merch. FreakJam's got merch.
Of course, we've got merch. We've got beer steins, mate.
Oh mate, I need to get one of those beer steins. And we've got these as well. We actually team up with a couple of charities. We do one a year. So we team up with a new charity every year just to support them. And this particular one is Swan Lifeline. And basically they're based in Windsor, and they basically save swans. So if you see an injured swan, they call them and they go save swans. So every Christmas Day for the last 3 years, I've spent my Christmas Day in the morning actually going down to feed the swans, because they don't have any staff down on Christmas Day. And it's a really good program. You should check it out, because they basically rehabilitate the swans and they release them back into the wild. And they really are fascinating creatures when you get to when you get to know them. Start talking to swans. But when you start to get to know what swans are like, 'cause I was always scared of swans. I always thought they're going to break your arm and do this. And the first time I went down there, bearing in mind it's Christmas Day, and they were like, just let it bite you. I was like, what? He goes, trust me, let it bite you. And yep. And I was like, oh wow, that's not too bad. It says that it's not going to take your fingers off. They literally just want to have they're just really grumpy, poor swans. They're just really grumpy. They're not going to hurt you. They might drown your dog. They might drown your dog, but
they're swimming along peacefully, and then someone comes along and throws bread at them. You know what I mean? It's not a good life.
I know. I do not feed swans bread. Do not feed swans bread, please. It's not good for their stomachs.
There you go, Radio Freak Jam listeners. You've learned something these days. Do not feed swans bread.
Or ducks. Don't feed ducks. Get some corn or something. Some corn might be good.
Corn's good for them.
Or ducks. Don't feed ducks to swans, because that's going to get weird, isn't it?
Or swans to ducks, because that's going to make them choke.
Yeah, and that's going to turn into a Rammstein video, I think, now, isn't it? We'll start having the ants versus the people.
There's a lot of creativity coming out here tonight, Carl. I like it. So the
That's
bottom
my
line
metal
is
root-
don't
my
feed
metal root
swans to
going.
ducks. What was that?
Yeah, do not feed swans to duck. And the other way, so my metal root's coming out now. Start quoting
So,
Rammstein.
how did you and Caroline meet? What's the story there?
Yeah, very interesting actually. So I was touring and I had no idea what the heck I was doing on the bass, mate. If I'm honest, I got very lucky. What's it very lucky? Good, but I started touring in a band, and I was like, I really want to learn how to play this instrument properly. And obviously back then the internet wasn't as vibrant as it is now, and I was looking for constant different ways to get better. To be honest, a lot of constant different ways to get better without actually putting the work in, which is funny. And then
That's how it
I ended up
works.
going to the idea and being, oh yeah, that's it. How can I get from here to here without doing any work? This would be great. So I ended up going to music college in London, and I saw her play on stage on the first day. And I looked at her and I went, she looks gorgeous when she's singing. And now I have a little rule, and then it's, basically any artist that I work with, they instantly become like my sister. I never have a problem with this whole, oh, I fancy someone in the band. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, the music comes first, and being a professional is sort of part and parcel.
Yeah.
And as soon as I spoke to her, we had one conversation just about random stuff, and I was like, do you want to go for a coffee? But not in that way. And she was like, yeah. So we went over, we had a coffee, and just started chatting about loads of different things. And I was like, we need to have a jam, I think, and do some stuff. And she was like, yeah. And I didn't actually realize till 6 months later, she'd only come into the country a year before that. She only came to the country when she was 17. And she fled Africa from one of the countries as a refugee, actually, to flee a war, because
Wow.
her country was war-torn. Yeah, so she came over here, and then I actually found out as well, she put herself through a degree after that. So we both met there, we started doing stuff. We wrote a record, it went really, really well. We got a lot of hype straight away. And then, then she went to go do a degree in fashion. I did a degree in music, and we carried the band going on. She was only in Middlesex. And, you know, I rack up, 40 grand's worth of debt for a university. And she comes over as a refugee and works night shifts so she could pay for it while doing it. So she actually paid off all her uni debt by the time she finished uni. And that's the one thing I love about it. There's so much stigma for refugees. And there's lots of bad eggs, there's lots of good eggs. But I think she's a great example of working for what you want, and not sponging off the government, as it were, which is one of the main people that people think it is. And I'm a British national, and I still owe the government money for my university fees. She's a refugee, and she paid it all back to them. You know what I mean? It's
well, look, I mean,
kudos, Caroline.
First off, let's just say, I'm glad she did come over and bring that awesome voice with her, man.
I was about to say a really bad thing, but I was just like, if that war wouldn't have happened, then this music wouldn't have been created. And it's such a weird thing to think of stuff like that. But it's just like you say, I'm so glad she came over here. I'm so glad. It was such a chance meeting. If I wouldn't have been in that class, or if I wouldn't have done that course at that particular time, because I was actually supposed to do that course 6 months early. And through various events, I didn't end up doing the course at that time. So then I ended up getting postponed. So so many things happened where it literally was, I mean, I don't exactly believe in fate. I love coincidences, but do you know what I mean? When you match all those things up, you're like, there's a lot of factors which brought us together. And I do see her like a sister. Like, we argue all the time, like brother and sister. Do you know what I mean? And because we come from different places, and we come from such different backgrounds. As you can imagine, the chat is absolutely bloody hilarious every time. It never gets old. Oh my god! If you were to watch us having a conversation, you would think we were just both either totally racist towards each other or absolutely bloody balmy, and we should be sectioned. You know what I mean?
I think that's some of the better working relationships, though. I mean, I don't mean to put anyone down that I know, but it takes a little bit of crazy to do what we do.
Yeah, and me and Caroline agree on this. Always be the crazy ones. We always have an argument over which one the crazy one is. When you're in a relationship, be the crazy one. Then you're not going to be surprised if they go crazy. Just be the crazy one all the time, and you're going to be absolutely fine.
Well, as I said, I'm glad that she found a way here through whatever reason to bless us with that voice. I mean, she is tremendously
and it is one
talented.
of a kind. Yeah, we get comments about Skunk Anansi and the gossip, but she still doesn't sound like them. She sounds similar, but she doesn't sound like them, which is what
I would say
I do. Like, she has that Skunk Anansi power.
It's
she
more
has that
a vibe,
power.
yeah. It's a vibe and the power, not necessarily tonally and stuff like that, or what she's doing with her voice, but the way she uses her voice, if that makes sense.
No, exactly, because her main influence is Aretha Franklin,
Right.
whereas mine is brand new Pink Floyd and John Entwistle and John Paul Jones. Do you know what I mean? So it's totally other ends of the spectrum. And I mean, for example, funny story actually, we did a cover of Song 2. I don't know if we played that tonight. We did a cover of Song 2 and by Blur. And I was like, right, we're doing Song 2 today. She was like, which one's Song 2? I went, Song 2. She goes, yeah, but Song 2 is what? Song 2. No, but Song 2 is what? No, Song 2. And obviously she wasn't aware who Blur were or what Song 2 was. So, of course, I was like, no, the song is called Song 2 by Blur. She was like, oh, okay. And it's just like little things like that where it's just absolute gold. You know what I mean? Because I bring some weird ideas to the table. Which you say, okay, go for it.
Let's have a bit
this
of
was
Song 2.
recorded just before lockdown.
I've lined that one up.
The week before lockdown.
So this is the latest one,
really?
Lockdown,
this was recorded. Yeah. Well, we got them coming out. We got Bad Guy cover by Billie Eilish. We've got a few more coming out on YouTube, but this is the latest one that just came out a couple of weeks ago. Finally got the footage back.
Awesome. Well, let's have a look. This is Song 2 by Blur by Armada of Secrets. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Say what the song says.
That's fully live.
Fully live.
That's one take wonder. That's actually the live footage. That was a one take wonder, except for the little repeat section. We put that in afterwards, but that whole thing was one take loop pedal.
Again,
we're loving doing that. A lot of the covers you see is all that one take.
I love that, but I love that you take the time just to take that little section of arrangement and do something a little bit different with it, personalise it, put your mark on it. It doesn't detract from the song in any sort of way, and just gives it a bit of style, a bit of you, which I like. I'm enjoying that a lot.
You see, that's the hardest bit. I mean, overplaying is such a common mistake, and I used to do it loads. You know what I mean? And you can sit on a track for a year, but by the end of it, the original idea you actually had was the best idea. I mean, the most fun I had on that track as well was actually programming the synths for it, because I just love the little top lines that I put on, sort of the reharms or making your own little mark in it. And they're so subtle, you wouldn't even really listen unless you really had it on bigger speakers, or if it was live, you wouldn't really notice it too much because you're focused on all the other aspects. And I love doing that with the synths. It's like subtle little bits, like you say, little arrangement changes, or picking out little ideas from because all the covers that we do, we like the songs, or at least I like the songs first, and I say, Caroline, sing this for me. And then and also, can I play it on the basis of a loop pedal? Because some things, we just can't go near some tracks because that is not going to work well.
Yeah. Obviously, you've got to
rushed.
pick your songs, but I think that's the same for any covers band. You've got to pick songs that suit you as a band. Be it your singer's voice, be it your bass player's ability, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Fight the battles you can win and don't take on the ones you can't because it's just pointless.
Exactly.
So what's the creative
we
process
have actually...
with you guys?
So that's a weird one. I was going to say we actually have like 9 or 10 videos which probably will never see the light of day, because we do a lot of one-take wonders, and if it doesn't come out right, we'll either record it properly afterwards, or we just scrap it. I've got so much footage I'm going to try and do something with someday of attempts or whatever. But usually with the creative process, it's such a different vibe. So it could start from a riff live. Like I said, live we have a 2-3 minute section of pure jamming. And like, if we're on tour every night and we're doing 10 days in a row, I'm going to have at least 10 different riffs of something. We're never repeating the same ideas. So I'm going to be able to go through the footage and go through that and be like, oh, wow, what do we do here? Even when we rehearse, we'll just go off into little jam sections and just literally whatever comes out. I think the more you're playing and the more you're gelling with the people around you, the easier it becomes. Sometimes Caroline might send me a vocal riff, and then I'll write to that. And then, because I do a lot of the producing and most of the writing in the band, but I can't do it all by myself. I always need that extra person with that extra thing coming back at me. Even if I turn around and say I don't like that idea, that's going to spark something else. And like the scat line, that scat line in Superstition, dum 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 da 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 da. That was a different scat line, and then me and Caroline was like, Caroline, right, we can do something with this. And we're working with pieces like that. So it literally is, to answer your question, actually, it's so many broad different ways of how it comes. I mean, that's why we've got quite a broad catalogue, and it's quite hard sometimes when we do tour to decide what songs to play. So every night on tour, we never play the same set twice. So if you wanted to come see us on tour and see every single show, you're going to see a different set every single night.
Wow.
And a couple of bands which I'm like brand new. I don't know if you know the band Brand New. Massive fan of theirs. American rock band. Yeah, and Blink-182 did it. I was a massive Blink-182 fan. Both of those bands did it. The Red Hot Chili Peppers also do it. And every night is...
Pearl Jam do it as well.
A different set. So do they? Do Pearl Jam do it? Awesome. So you could see them every single night.
For the most part, they would always play...
you still play the hits.
The classics.
Yeah, still play the hits. Yeah, exactly. But you're going to change... We're messing the set around. You know what I mean? Sometimes open the set with the one you should finish with. Yeah. I mean... did the Red Hot Chili Peppers tour 2 years ago in Amsterdam and London, and I got to see them from the side of the stage for 6 nights and from the sound desk. And always remember this: they have no sound check. And I was like, and I love the band. But in hindsight, basically, everyone was like, half of the fans were like, that was bad, because they were just jamming most of the night. And as a musician, I was like, this is absolutely awesome. I'm at the sound desk, and this happened more than once. All the set is written out on Sharpie. And they're getting phone calls from the tech, and I saw like Flea turn around and shout something, and they're just getting little phone calls being like, right, scrap that. And they're changing songs on stage, being like, won't do that. Now this is arena shows to 20,000 people. And they're like, we'll decide on the night. And get this, so no sound check. The sound check starts with Chad on drums, just playing a beat, and they check that while he's just playing to the crowd as a drum solo. Then Flea comes on, starts jamming along with him. So every night with something random. They check his bass, and the guitarist comes on and the vocalist comes on. So no one turns up to the venue to actually play till like 8 o'clock at night, which obviously is awesome. I mean, obviously get there early and get the catering, but apart from that,
of course,
but it's such a wonderful way to do it. It was one of the most organic things that I think I've ever seen done. It was basically like a live jam night between 4 guys.
Yeah.
And all the songs were there. They played the hits, but they, Flea was putting in little bits left, right, and center. They were going off into little sections randomly, and especially after seeing them that many times, you could see on stage when they were like, "Where are we?" Like on a normal jam night, where's the one? And shall we go back to the chorus in a minute? Because I have no idea where we are.
You see, I love that. I mean, you know, we used to go out and do 5-hour sets without a set list.
Yeah.
Or a list
You know
of
what I mean?
songs, but in no order, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And, you know, we just pick them and do them, and then the drummer will be like, I need a wee, so we do an acoustic song. Steph, who was singing with us, God rest her soul, she'd go off and do something, and well, I'd sing, and then I'd go off and do something, and she'd come on and sing. We just mix it up and keep it live. And
Well, that's it. As a bass player, my favourite one is, can someone play All Right Now so I can go get a bloody beer? Because I'm not coming into this song until ages. I was like, loop that intro bit as well. Just keep going. You just keep doing that, mate. Anyone else want a drink? Yeah, just keep doing that. That's my safety song. That one. You know what I mean?
Let's have a listen to another original. I've got Up in the Lights.
Yeah, this is. Oh, you get to see young Carl. This was just before we went on hiatus as well. Yeah.
Okay, so this is young Cole. How old's this then?
This must be 10 years old now. We actually found the footage by accident because the new track we got coming out at the end of August, Tragic Love, is actually written about when I got robbed 10 years ago, and that's one of the reasons why the band stopped. We lost all the mixes, I lost all the stems, we lost literally everything. So even Black Dulwich, you saw that video, that took years to come out because we actually didn't have the file.
Wow.
And we loved the sound so much. We tried to recreate it a couple of times, and we couldn't find that sound. And it was actually a very depressing time for us in the band. And that's why we stopped for a bit. Sorry, pardon me.
Pardon you, indeed.
So,
good sound, eh?
Thank you very much. But yeah, so that's what the new track coming out is about. So it's very personal to us, and it's almost like a full circle thing because the track coming out at the end of August was one of the tracks that was on the hard drive, but we never had anything of it. That was the one track we had nothing of it at all. And I mean, to put it in perspective, it is going to sound a bit different to how it did, but I was up till 8 o'clock this morning with 37 synth tracks on my Logic, going through them ready for the mix today. Oh, don't, mate. I can't wait to sleep tonight, basically. That's why I'm enjoying this beer with you right now.
Well, it's good to have you, Carl. It's always good to catch up. So let's have an original by you guys.
Fantastic.
And then I think we'll have a bit of a chat. You can tell everyone where they can get all bits and pieces from, and then we'll close up with a bit of the Ting Tings, I think. How's that sound?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah?
See some lights.
Right, okay. So this is Up in Lights. Here we go.
You want it all. Invincible, but your head's full. Now you're not out. Ready to make your mind tonight. You know what road to take, but you
Oh, that was a sharp ending on that one.
Yeah, can I swear on this?
Yeah, it's child. We mark this not child
I
safe.
fucked up, mate. I fucked up. I sent you the. No one's ever seen that video and had that audio before.
Oh,
That is a world exclusive. After what I
Oh.
just said about the STEM thing, what I sent you is actually the totally wrong file. So if you go onto YouTube, you can hear the produced version of that. That's a dry mix with nothing on it, and that's a one take thing again. And no one's ever seen that. Even I was sitting there going, "Wow, I don't remember this." So honestly, everyone at home, you just got a live exclusive of Baby Carl and Baby Caroline, pre-produced before we knew exactly what pedals were. I love it. It's a great track.
mate, it is, and it's even just as that track, you can hear the quality of your bass playing and her voice and the drums coming through. And Jesus, I mean, it's 10 years ago. The quality of recording and studio facilities and stuff like that has taken leaps and bounds in that time.
It is scary. I mean, like when I've been touring over the last 2 years compared to when I was touring 15 years ago. Oh, don't. I mean, I used to tour when I was 17. I used to have a PSP. I used to have the big laptop, as in like the thick one, because it had the charge so I could do some documents. You had the other laptop for when you got to the venue, had to charge them both up. And then also had two phones, not being a drug dealer, by the way, just because one had Snake on it in all the games, if you want to rinse your data, and the other one could get that, was it BBM Messenger I think I had at the time or something like that? Do you know what I mean? And then now when I tour, I'll bring that.
Yep.
And a Mac. And that's it. And I did an entire India tour for 4 weeks with a metal band called Cypher 16. It was one band I used to play in back in the day. And I only bought 2 pedals, a wireless system, and a bass for the entire tour. And I didn't even need an amp because obviously I was using I was using a Tech 21 Sans amp. And I was like, this is all I need. And I'm like, compared to 10, 15 years ago, when we're lugging in the 8x10 ampegs, which I still love, by the way. When you see the Tintings video in a bit, you're going to see some nice lights and cabs and that. But just how everything's changed now. I mean, obviously now it's changed again, but yeah, it's so fascinating, the possibilities. I'm constantly learning new things. I'm constantly seeing things that can be done. Constantly being distracted as well, obviously, by look at this shiny pedal. What does this do? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just don't. I do the London-based guitar show for some of my endorsees, and I go to NAMM in LA and play for some of the guys out there on the stands. And when you're there seeing all these new products, I'm like, this is getting out of hand. While at the same time, it isn't. You know what I mean? It's if you think like Billie Eilish, her brother. Even though there was loads of money injected into it, at the same time, same as Taylor Swift, you need to, when you get that opportunity, you need to have the talent to stay there. And her brother is an amazing producer, and the equipment that he uses very well, and he's bringing a lot of new ideas to the table. And I'm getting emails every day about a new sound that might be available, a new kick, a new this, a new that, and that's why I do like in this band. Luckily, I do try and keep myself a bit grounded and be like, no, can I keep it as live as possible? That's why I don't like having backing track. The synth, I do like having being played live. If I can't loop it, then I'm not really too keen to do it. I think we've only done one track on the last tour where I actually used the backing track using the bass as well. And even with that bass, I pre-recorded it using the bass sound at the sound check because I felt like, and I know it sounds a bit like, I don't know, what's the word? A bit nitpicky with it, but just trying to keep it as organic as possible. Like when the Stones were doing it, when Pink Floyd were doing it back in the day, there wasn't a lot of this backing track or just pressing play and then going for it. You know what I mean? It was what equipment do we have and what sounds can we make?
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I've missed. We had our first gig of the year with Armada Secrets last Sunday. Luckily, we're very fortunate to do that. They made us all sign COVID waivers. I didn't sign it, so if I get that, I can sue, which is awesome. But we actually played a corporate gig, and that was, to have my cab set up and just to sit in front of my cabs on full volume and just have the doom. I'm like, this is like going to a festival. My favorite thing is walking in and you feel that dum, dum, dum with the bass and the drums. You just feel it in your chest. That's what I'd miss. That is exactly what I'd miss. And even though you can do it at home, it's not the same as having your drummer there, your singer there, having all the sounders cranking it up to 11. Literally, my man goes up to 12, by the way. So that's all good. We're cracking
I'm
up to 11, and
jealous.
then
That's
and
what
then
I'm
you
going
know,
to say is I'm
letting it
jealous,
rip.
man.
Yeah. Why did it go up to 12, bro?
No, I'm not on about that.
Just
I'm
make it
about the
10.
chance you've got to play a gig.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm jealous. I
Yeah,
don't need a
honestly,
bass
it
amp. I
was
can't play the
so
bass.
surreal. Ah, not yet. Don't
Oh,
don't
yeah,
don't, don't put
yeah,
yourself down. I got you. I got you. Right, one sec. Do the tradies.
That's my U bass.
I've got
It's a
some lovely
ukulele
white
bass.
strings. Oh, you got U bass.
U bass, yeah.
I'm on that. I've got some white strings. You ever use the white strings?
I have on the U
Coloured
bass.
strings from DR.
So,
But no, it was. Go on.
where can people get more music and more information and buy the merch and where can they fan out on you guys?
Awesome. So we're very lucky in this day and age where every single person seems to have every single name taken. You can literally type in Armada of Secrets and we just come up. We appear like a bad smell that never leaves. It's absolutely. You type it in once, press favourite, you are sorted. Do you know what I mean? It's quite good with that. So it's literally at Armada of Secrets. If you do get a chance and you do like our stuff, please visit the merch store. Check it out. We've got loads of new things coming out. And we've got loads of new videos. The main thing we want from all of this is we just want people sharing our music. I mean, like it's especially this day and age. There's such a massive saturation, and everyone has something. Like we're not no more special than anybody else putting out music. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has the chance to do it, but we work very hard at what we do, and just people just actually putting the time into watching the videos and sharing them. Is the main thing that we would ask from anybody. And then, come and join them. We have competitions every month for free merch.
Nice.
So you can come with some free merch, do you know what I mean? I need to send you a t-shirt, actually.
Send me a t-shirt. I'll wear it on the show.
Send you a t-shirt? Yeah.
Extra
Same
large,
as-
black. It's got to be black.
Oh, don't. Honestly, the whole thing we do is black and white, and I just love the whole thing. Everything from me and Caroline being black and white, to the cabs are black and white, to my basses are black and white. We have custom. All the leads are black and white, all custom. All the mic stands are black and white. The microphones are black and white. Everything's black and white. We literally we actually bring a show. When we turn up, we actually bring the full show.
So really, it's Armada of monochrome.
Yeah, which is very theatrical. It's very theatrical. So I tries to hold this like this and start talking to it. Like,
Alas, poor
Shakespeare,
Yorick, I knew him well.
Poor sod.
Mate, it's been a real pleasure sitting and catching up with you and finding out what you've been doing and just, catching up with the music and stuff. There's some great tunes you've been putting out recently, and I'm certainly going to be looking out for the new stuff. I've joined the group on Facebook. So the Armada of Secrets group on Facebook. Join that, guys, if you want more information. And thanks for joining me, man. It's been a lot of fun catching up.
That's it.
Cheers.
Just before we go, I just want to say a massive thank you to you. I'm really, really happy that you started this during lockdown. I've been tuning in a couple of times over the last few weeks on the pre-records afterwards, giving bands like myself an opportunity to talk about our stuff and just, actually listening to music when we send it to you. It means a lot that you actually like it.
What else am I going to
so
do?
I really, really am
We're
thankful
locked
for you
down.
starting the show. Well, mate,
I was bored.
if it's shit, it's shit. I was bored.
I was bored. I wanted something to
Cheers.
do. I put a radio
No
station
t-shirt.
together.
No t-shirt.
I think the beauty of all of this is that I'm very lucky to know a hell of a lot of people. Doing the jam, there's been a lot of people walk through the hallowed halls of the jam night. And it's wonderful that I can catch up with all of you guys 20 years on in some cases and go, what are you doing? Play us some music.
Yeah.
As I said, I was saying to you, I've got the best lockdown playlist any man could wish
best
for.
playlist.
I've got music from America, I've got music from Canada, I've got music from England, all over the place, Germany, and there's people just sending me their tunes, going, put it out there for me, let people hear it. I've done what else to do in lockdown. It's
Exactly.
So I've loved every minute of it, mate.
Let the people decide.
And if you're sending me an Armada of
Fantastic. Honestly,
Secrets
I've
t-shirt
enjoyed
as well,
seeing it. Oh yeah, it goes without saying. I'll probably just send you this one. If it doesn't fit, send it back.
mate, let's play out. Hang around for a quick chat afterwards if you want to. Have you got any messages for people before you go?
Just want to shout out to all my crew in Armada Secrets. We have a crew. We have a tech crew, sound engineer, merch.
I thought
we
we
couldn't-
were
we
talking
couldn't
about
do
the
our show
Stains
without them.
Massive then.
Oh, mate, SL3. I'm a Langley boy.
I know you are.
You can take the boy out of Langley, but you can't take Langley out of the boy. Or I'm just a pikey. I'm not sure which one that's what I say, but I don't remember. But no, yeah, we can't do the show without our crew. We really can't. I mean, there's more crew than the band when we turn up, and they make the show work. They make us be able to enjoy ourselves. I want to shout out to my mum and my granddad, and also my boy Charlie Freeman. I also do check out his stuff on Bandstream TV. I'm having a lot of fun playing with him as well. But hopefully you guys can see Armada Secrets live on the 28th. That show's going to be available for 3 months afterwards on a private live stream. It's only £5 a ticket. Come get involved. And yeah, also send some requests. We take requests. We don't listen to most of them. But once or twice we might say, hey, that's not a bad idea. It's like a normal covers gig, mate. We take requests. I'm not going to listen to it. Not going to listen to that.
Yeah, we take requests. We probably won't know it, but you might get lucky, you know. So
How many chords?
That's not my name. What? Come on, give us a quick, brief rundown on this before we play it and say goodbye.
So this is also all the tracks you've heard tonight have been apart from Superstition. This is totally live again. This is a one take wonder, totally live. I love my light up cabs. If you see this video, my ears light up, my bass lights up, the cabs light up, and it's all in sync. We had what's her name? I'm so into Ariana Grande. We had Ariana Grande's lighting tech come in for this to give us a hand. So yeah, watch this. The lights are off the chain. I love
Awesome,
it.
guys.
And this is what we bring live. What you see now is what you see live.
Right, we're going to look forward to that. Guys, don't forget, we got the live jam on Thursday. We've got the quiz night on Saturday. This Thursday, Mark Chudley is the co-host. That's going to be it's going to be a storytelling
Is it Tory sense? Yeah,
process. I thought it was going to be a Tory selling process, and let's be honest, there's a few Tories
Yeah, I
I'd
was
like to
like,
sell. Just saying.
Let's get
As I
political.
said, Jam Night Thursday, Quiz Night Saturday. Come and join us for that. Links in Facebook group. And this is Armada of Secrets with That's Not My Name. We'll see you next week. Take care.